Hey everybody, Will Fix here. I'm here with Maximus Crypto, and we've been doing some collabs. Uh, One of my best friends in the whole world. Love the guy very much, and we're going to bring some hbar content today. Isn't that the plan, Max?
Absolutely the plan. And here's the thing, guys. It's not just HBAR. It's a little bit of XRP. Algo is part of that mix. Things are part of obviously the Hedera ecosystem, but it's the DEREC Alliance. From what we discovered in the past, this affects quite a few projects. Yes, of course, Hedera led that charge with Algo, but Ripple joined them and so on. And there's other ones that they want them to join up with. So we do have an update that we're going to basically share with you guys. So, how cool.
Woohoo!
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. So just a few taps, you can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into it, show you what we're talking about. I've covered this a few times over on my channel, and we're going to go ahead and full screen this. As you see right here, you have Generation Infinity reposted this from the original Hedera announcement. Okay, you wonder how long ago it was literally 2 days ago. There's other people out in the space that are covering this as well, but how cool to see these basic things. So who's tagged? Well, you have Hedera, of course, Algo, Ripple XRP, Constellation, DAG, Cardano, and even Casper. And we have a little segment that we may include in this video or might just chop it up and do a separate one in regards to answering some brief questions about Casper for you guys. But keys to mass adoption and safeguarding humanity, Decentralized Recovery Alliance. Dr. Leemon Baird, co-founder of Hedera, explores the pivotal role of the DEREC Alliance, open industry standards, and the tokenization of everything. We're going to play 5 minutes of this. Will and I are going to give you guys our takeaway on it, on what it means moving forward, and especially when it comes to ETFs. Yes, ETFs. Let's go ahead and play this. Guys, smash that like if you haven't done so already. Here we go.
So our industry is really exploding. I can't wait. There are 8 billion people out there, most of whom are not involved in Web3 or in any of this stuff. And we can make the world better. We can make their lives better, but we need to get these people involved. What is maybe the biggest problem? I mean, there's a lot of problems, but one really big problem is that if you lose your key, you lose everything. This is a real problem, and people are not prepared for this. If you lose the password to your bank, you know there's a way that you can recover it, or you can go to a court and let them into the bank, or you can go to the bank in person and show them your passport. You can always get in. And in our field, you lose your key, you don't have it. People have been lulled into this sense of security because every other part of their life has a safety net. We've got to bring a safety net to our industry. We have to do that to reach the whole world. If you have something like that, a program that manages that, the program could simply say, hey, anytime you want to connect with a friend, you can do that. The two of you connect. Maybe one of your phones looks at the other phones. You just push one button to say, I want to connect with someone. I want to pair with them as my helper. You connect with them, and now they're your helper. And it's everything else is invisible. Now, what's actually happening is every single day, it's going to go back to their device and say, hey, does your device still have my secret? Prove it. Give me a cryptographic proof you still have my secret, to make sure they still have it. And if they don't, it'll warn you. But as long as things are going well, it is totally invisible. It's doing all that work behind the scenes. When you add a new person, it gives little pieces of your key to all the old people. So if you had 10 friends and you add an 11th one, it gives everybody a 1/11th share and tells them to get rid of the 1/10th share. All that's invisible. It's got to be hidden from you. And as long as all of that is invisible, and then when you lose your phone, you've lost everything. You need to recover. You just go and pair with your friends again. And as soon as you've repaired with half your friends, suddenly you get back everything that you had lost, including the list of the rest of your friends in case you forgot them. It tells you the whole list. And they don't know who each other are for safety. So that's the kind of simplicity that you want. But you can even go a step further. There are banks and credit unions talking about, hey, we'll just set this up for you automatically when you join us. We will automatically give you a wallet that's built into your bank app that can store stuff for you. And without even you knowing it, we're going to set up several helpers for you, and you'll be split across those helpers. And then when you get more sophisticated, you can add some helpers of your own. So it isn't just friends and family. It can be big organizations that are being a helper. And it is truly invisible when they set up the first 3 for you, and then it's up to you if you want to add more. So we've got to make this super, super easy to do. This DEREC system that I talked about, you split up your secrets with people, is post-quantum resistant. That means that someday when someone builds a giant quantum computer that can break, well, in some sense, all of our current systems, because all of our current systems have something vulnerable somewhere in them, it won't be able to break this. And in fact, even when you're giving people secrets today, nobody can record them going over the internet and then wait a decade and use a giant quantum computer to break them. We're secure from the beginning. And that's important. An enterprise can do the same thing that your grandmother can do. Why not? You can use friends and family of the enterprise. You can use banks and credit unions and lawyers. You can use them as your helpers. But an enterprise also has one other thing they could do instead. An enterprise, a big company, a big company that has lots of divisions, could have each division being a helper. And so the enterprise itself keeps everything indoors. And many enterprises would like that idea, but you still have the resilience because no one employee could erase everything accidentally and you've lost everything. And so you have redundancy even within the enterprise. And we'll have a version 2.0 eventually where where even you don't know your secrets and you need your helpers to help you even sign a transaction to move something, move a token or move crypto. And so an enterprise could even do that. And then no single employee is physically capable of stealing everything. You have to get people from different divisions cooperating. This is a powerful concept. And honestly, it's the concept of our industry, right? This is decentralization. But we're bringing this out to the greater world, not just to make our industry more secure, but to make password management and DID, distributed identity things more useful and are more safe. And passkeys, all these different things can all be protected by this. And if you're a big organization with lots of divisions, they can be the helpers for each other. So Constellation is here, and Ripple is here, and Cardano, and a lot of other wallet developers, banks, credit unions, both are involved now. We have lots of people involved. And the reason is, I think we all share a similar vision, but we also share the similar fear. And that is, it is obvious you need to do backups of your keys and your secrets, your passwords, in a way where you give it to people and you use Shamir secret sharing, which has been around forever and no one had to invent it. It's all here. We've had it forever. But if I write a wallet program for Hedera and he writes a wallet program for Algorand, and these 2 wallets each make up their own protocol for how to do this thing, then that means that my users can only talk to other Hedera users as helpers. And his users can only talk to other Algorand users as helpers. And we're splitting up the world into tiny little pieces where you just don't have that many helpers. What we need to do as an industry, the whole Web3 world to start with, and then beyond that, is to have a single protocol. We all need to speak the same language.
Okay. So he mentions that we, basically speaking, need to speak the same language. And I couldn't agree more. Gilbert Verdian has addressed this where you can't have your walled gardens and your silos, can't have the days of your CompuServes and your AOLs. We use one internet, but if anything moving forward, we're using a unified shared ledger. So I agree with Dr. Leemon Baird in that regard. Will, when we talk about, ETFs, the way I look at it is you have that old lady, if you will, right? She doesn't know anything about crypto, but she had a son or a relative who's done very, very well. She knows that this is the new era, but she's been introduced to it. She still doesn't understand blockchain or distributed ledger technology. She don't understand any of it. But there's a sense of fear that if I lose my keys, just like maybe she lost her keys in the parking lot, right, to her car, that there's a sense of doom and gloom. Say what you want, Hedera, Algo, this DEREC Alliance, Ripple, and so on and so forth. I think they get it. So when we have ETFs, it's not just Bitcoin. Let's say we get a Hedera and some of these other ones, and it's finally really going gung-ho, hopefully here in 2025. To me, this is more that adoption because there's a sense of trust. Like these institutions will say, guess what? We're ahead of you. We understand that fear. If you lose this, guess what? We got you a safeguard. So your thoughts in regards to, this latest update from Dr.
Man, yeah,
Leemon
that's,
Baird?
I think
Yeah.
that's fantastic. You have 12 friends. That sounds really interesting. And they may not even know, what the phrase word is that they're carrying. It's all invisible. That's kind of cool. And, the ETF is really popular because of custody reasons. That's why people like the ETF, and the ETF is so popular. But many people say, I would rather own the original crypto. Well, yeah, but you're probably a nerd that's into crypto, and but grandma, buying an ETF, you just get on your Weeble account or whatever, your Robinhood account, and you just buy shares of an ETF. That's kind of the short-term solution, I think, right now for a mass adoption or mass ownership of crypto. But this 12 person deal, that really sounds interesting. And for Hedera to come up with that, wow, I mean, that's going to be now they have all the customers of everybody that they have partnerships with, right? Wonder how many that is. That's going to really make a price impact on hbar, isn't it?
Absolutely. And when you go to, for example, this, just to kind of show you guys this on screen, Dr. Leemon Baird talks about some of this. So, like, for one, let's just share it with you guys. What does the DEREC Alliance basically consist of? Well, here are the players right now. Okay. So, obviously, Algorand, there's, for example, Charles Hoskinson with Cardano. And these are actually the founding members, right? So you got Hashgraph, and whatnot. But it's awesome to see Ripple part of that. Like Dr. Leemon Baird, mentioned, Will, he said specifically, it doesn't make sense for Algo to go make their own, and ours is different. That would be like what Gilbert Verdin talked about with, walled gardens and silos. Like, you know, is Will Fix using a different internet than me? No, we just go use the internet. So, everything has to have, saying goes, that interoperability. But this is awesome. This is a win moving forward. And then even if you were to go to the DEREC Alliance, I'm not going to show you guys this, but they have an application, to onboard some of these ones. Of course, they vet them. But, the way I look at it is, moving forward, I would imagine they're going to show everybody that we want more of these trusted alliance members. That creates demand for these coins, tokens, you name it. And we even see ones that are already part of like the Hedera ecosystem. Obviously, Bank Social. You heard Dr. Leemon Baird talk about credit unions, basically bank socials like that. And I think it's obviously a big deal. The other thing I want to show you guys is, this, shout out to our brother Smoke, one of the best in the business when it comes to research. He posted this a while back, not that long ago, about what's going on in regards to the near term. Okay, I'm gonna full screen this for you guys, and we'll get right back into this with Will. So he says Ripple payments will integrate RLUSD stablecoin. By the way, Will and I have been talking a lot about RLUSD lately. We're now into 2025. It makes it easier for businesses and users to adopt Ripple's payment system, boost XRP's role as bridge currency. But look what it says here. Whether it's myself talking about it, Will, whoever, there's a company called Valor or Valor, depending on where you're from. XRP staking ETFs to launch this year, 2025, and these ETFs give investors a way to earn staking rewards, which will bring more money into the ecosystem, increase demand, of course, for XRP. But again, bottom line is all this stuff about ETFs. All right, bring in the other players, if you will. Okay, so look at this statement. Ripple payments will integrate RLUSD early next year. We're already in that next year. We talked about not just ETFs, we talked about ETPs. Will's covered this on his channel. I'll blow this up on the other screen real quick. Because when you get more further into this, it says that with plans to launch approximately 15 new ETPs this year, followed by additional 30 ETPs in 2025, you can understand the pool of potential in regards to these particular offerings. But you see more recent launches include Valor or Valor, I don't know how to pronounce it, so don't shoot the messenger. Ripple's XRP, and even ICP. I know some of you guys hold ICP, Internet Computer, but physical staking ETPs with ongoing product launches continue to raise that awareness. All right, but what about awareness in regards to, hey, guess what? I did the staking. I want to claim my rewards. Everybody wants that at some point. And what if the person did that? They're like so excited to finally, check out that yield on their stake coins after the lockup, and then it's like, oh no, they basically, they lost it all. You need some kind of recovery. So I'm glad to share this with you guys. I'm glad that Will and I could come, to a conclusion or a collaboration to bring you this type of material. But for me moving forward, that obviously drives demand. Yeah, we want institutional drive, but what about even the institutional players? Like, you're trying to tell me on the side that they're not holding some of this stuff? Give me a break. I think they are also in
Yeah.
private wallets. That creates more trust for them. Maybe some of these guys are secret whales that we just don't even know about. All right. That's another safeguard. So we don't want another Do Kwon incident. We don't want another, scam bankment fraud incident. No. Trust is huge. It's not just about the internet of value, it's about the internet of trust. Your closing thoughts in regards to this before we close it out and bring you guys some more content with some of these other announcements.
Well, mine, I like the idea of this. The custody seems to be the barrier. We were talking yesterday about, for the average crypto holder, is basically a nerd who likes the complication, or is not repelled by it, at least, of the idea of a seed phrase. So they embrace that. And the first Bitcoin owners had that was a barrier for some people. They just thought, man, it's kind of convoluted. Look what you got to do. It's brand new to have the idea of you lose your password, your money's gone. That's such a final outcome. It's like a death. So for a solution to come up with a way to recover your seed phrase that's invisible, man, that opens up for mass adoption, in my opinion. I think this is super huge good news and great news for the asset, for the Hedera hbar asset, for sure.
Absolutely. Or basically anyone part of this alliance, because let's face it, I mean, we have some founding members with, Algorand. We see the whole thing with Ripple. So I think it's just going to be a win-win for all of them. It's not about, some people say these are all competing with each other. Yeah, but you want to know something, even outside of crypto, what did you see in the early 2000s? Like, I covered Jasmine. We saw Kunitake Ando sharing the stage with a competitor of Steve Jobs with Apple, right? Why is that? Because they recognize that, yeah, they're competing, but they can benefit with each other. These guys recognize the DEREC Alliance. Moving forward, it's a win, not just for your altcoins like Hedera, Ripple, XRP, Algo, Cardano, and some of these other ones. It's a win for crypto moving forward because it proves to everybody we have that trust layer. So, guys, if you appreciate the content, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Obviously, check out things like the Decent Wallet. Literally, we're talking about your keys. So not your keys, not your crypto. Pick up yourself a decent wallet, and you have to go through platforms like this. It's got a significant sale going on. And of course, it helps benefit our channels if you choose to get one. Significant discounts going on as we speak. Links are in the descriptions. Great to have you, brother, once again for this
Good to spend
collab.
time with you.
Absolutely, man. So we got more content on the near horizon for you guys. We're going to talk about, for example, Casper and what happened in that regard. Some of you guys already know about it, but you guys have been asking me, hey, man, it's been a while for an update. Will and I are going to give you a quick update in that regard, so be out on the lookout for that. Thanks again for tuning in. And by the way, here's your code word if you listen to the entire outline, and simply type this keyword into the comments, and that is Leemon, as in Dr. Leemon Baird of Hedera, Leemon, and both Will and I will know that you listen to the entire outline. As the
Amen.
saying goes, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. We'll see you on the next one.
Next video.